Hello.
Welcome back.
I'm Nicole.
And I'm Megan.
And we are matching.
We are 100% matching. It was not on purpose. And
No,
Nicole
it was not.
It's actually totally my fault because Nicole got dressed. And I didn't even, I don't know. But it's happening.
We're here for it.
It's happening.
It's a party. We are the founders of Synchronicity. Change your brain, change your life. We take old patterning you were given during childhood, flip it on its head, and give you a new perspective so that you can become a better version of yourself in adulthood.
Yeah, and we use microdosing and all science-based information to do all of this. So it's not just made-up craziness like a lot of coaches out there. Yes. Some of the things I see, we are science-based, even though, follow the science has its own connotation nowadays. We actually are good science because it's all based off of the brain and Eric Berne mainly, Paul Broca, things like that. But anyway, before I slip down
we're not a
that wormhole.
We're not a untested vaccine per se.
But that's all hearsay too. So
yes.
Anyway, today this is kind of a requested podcast. We were actually talking to one of our male clients, and I said the term man cave, and he was like, "What the hell is a man cave?" And I was like, "Oh, I thought everybody knew what this was," but I am realizing that a lot of things that I think everybody knows that are, and then I infer them or refer to them, and they're like, "What do you mean?" So Nicole will sit there and write things down and be like, "We need to do a podcast on this because you're saying things and people have no idea what you're talking about." So this was one of them, the man cave. I always think of it because when we were growing up, there was the man cave in people's houses that the guys would go hang out in, and it usually had the bar and the pool table. It just had man things, and he would say man cave on the wall. And so I just always thought that, and maybe that's how I came up with the term man cave, was men go there when they want to be alone.
Mm-hmm. But our dad had a per se man cave. He had a garage, his space.
Yeah.
Most men have a space.
Yeah, and
in their land.
And when we work with clients, we always say that part of the contract, and if you ever want to know more about this, you can always get in contact with us or work with us or whatever, is that men and women have their own space in a house that's designated theirs. So for me, when I think of a man cave, I think of a space that is a man's, that if I want to enter, I go, "Hey baby, is it okay if I come in and speak to you?" Because it's their kind of time that maybe they go to after work or whatever, when they just need to be alone. That when they're in there, that's their time. Everybody should have this. Women should have their own space too, where it's their feminine time, their whatever. It's extraordinarily important for mental health, but also for the health of your and vitality of your relationship to have space that is designated as yours. And it doesn't mean that person doesn't visit you there or you don't go in there and hang out. But just as a couple, right? Or friends, family, anything, right? When somebody's in there, they're kind of processing or need alone time. And if they want company, they'll, tell you or whatever. But, I think that there's so much either isolation or codependent togetherness in today's world that there's not a whole lot of interdependence or just independence. Healthy independence, right? Not misindependent, but just independence of, I need to think, I need to process, I need alone time, I need to meditate, whatever you do in your own space. But so from now on, when we refer to the man cave, there will be a podcast that we can refer people to better understand what we're talking about. But the man cave is more complex than the female cave, or I'm going to call it a female sanctuary more so.
Her creative space.
Yeah.
Creative space versus the man cave.
But the man cave is also not just a place. It's also a mindset, because men by nature need more solitude than women do. We're just more communal. We want constant communication. We want all of these things. And men won't talk to you for like a week and they think it's like a day. And you're like, oh my God, you haven't talked to me like a week. And they're like, huh? Like, I had no idea. So their construct of everything is just very different, because you have to remember that men have like drawers. And when they pull out the drawer, they're in that drawer. So if they're in the work drawer, they're in the work drawer. They're not like also texting you and thinking about sex. They're in their money drawer, right? Their sex drawer has you in it. Their love drawer has you in it. Like, you're not in all of their drawers. They may be in all of our drawers because we can multitask, but we are not in all of their drawers. Because if they were in their work box, which is their money box, right, and they're trying to think about sex at the same time, men can't multitask. They're going to like just fail. So understanding that man cave is also just how men process information differently. And we did a podcast on rumination, so it's a little bit similar, but this is kind of just breaking down more of how also, like, when you see a man, his testosterone will like basically plummet, because he's releasing estrogen and oxytocin when he's around you, because if he loves you, so he's bonding. And so when you go away, right, when you leave his presence, then he has to restore his testosterone. And his testosterone will peak on the 7th day of being away from you. So just so you know, like, when you think of like hunters and gatherers and things, men used to be away a lot more from women than they are now. So they can get really like anxious and kind of just like freaked out being around girls all the time, because it's actually messing with their hormones. And so we want like togetherness and to cuddle and all of these things. And men may be like, yo, I need like 3 days away from you. And they may not be able to say that, but he might need that, or even up to 7 days for his testosterone levels to go back to normal. Right. So, there's kind of a double-edged sword there of like, men need to be around women to raise testosterone, right, when they're ovulating. But there's also this like, when it's too cuddly and snuggly and like oversexed and all of these things, it's actually messing with their hormones at the same time, and it's depleting their testosterone. So because they're getting into the like cuddling and oxytocin and bonding with their vasopressin, and they're like, oh, now I don't feel so manly. They need to like go and chop a tree down or like do something that raises testosterone.
Well, and the thing too is that we were having this discussion yesterday also with a client, is that men are not women. They do not communicate like women. They are so simple, like, and not in a bad way. They run off of how to get money, because money gets me sex. Because if I can provide and protect and cherish her with my money, then I can get sex from her. Like, that's their biological breakdown. And so when they are stepping away from a woman to ruminate and process, it's nothing to be offended by. But I think, and I see that right now, the current feminine is like, one, I think they're just so codependent, and they're just a mess. But they're treating men like women.
They're controlling.
Yeah. And, we talk to clients and guy friends and stuff, and they're like, women are just like, they're so aggressive and they don't understand what's happening. And we were even talking to a client yesterday, and she was mentioning about like her brothers, right? And like, they gossip and they talk about all these things. And she's like, we're like, well, that's not normal masculine behavior, because normal masculine behavior is usually talking about how to get money, how to make money, or how to have sex. Like, those are the three things that...
Or they're competing, like, who can chop down the tree faster. They're not sitting around gossiping about...
those things. So most masculine men that are in the true masculine, that are figuring out how to compete, how to get sex, and how to make money, need space to be in solitude, because those are all thought-based. They have to logically break it down, right? Those three things. And then they have to feel into it. So right-handed men, it can take them, up to 8 weeks to fully ruminate about something? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they have to be in their think box, or be in their feel box, or be in their think box, or be in their feel box. And they can't go back and forth like women, where we can literally like back and forth super quick when we're communicating, of thinking, feeling, and we move so much quicker. Like I said in a podcast prior, I really think about men when they're processing something that they're running at 50% slower than what I'm doing. And it's not to be shamed. It's just to understand how their processing system in their brain works.
But that's also why men are better at like work and things than women, because we're very scattered and chaotic, and they're not. Wherever they're at, and they're fully present. And we tend to fault them for not being women, but it's why, like, you know, there's a reason that the government and CEOs and everything are the majority men, because men go into their work box and they are capable of suffering and struggling and whatever way more than women, because we have, you know, we go into our feelings and we're like, that doesn't feel good. And then it becomes a thing, and it's not a fault, but it's a disadvantage in business. And men can compartmentalize, right? Because they're either thinking or feeling. So their feelings are naturally compartmentalized. And they're think, like do, right? And then you'll watch men, and I want women to observe this, right? When they go home and they're in their man cave, then it's safe to feel. They're like, oh, now I miss you. Now it's, you know, then they're messaging you, but it's when they are in a safe space, they've competed, controlled, and conquered, and now they want to be, you know, they've done good all day. Now they want to feel good being with you, and you are their fun space, right? Their safe space. Even though women fall in love with safety and men fall in love with respect, it's still, men have to be in a safe environment in order to, like, right? You're not going to have sex in the middle of battle. You're not going to be thinking about your girlfriend in the middle of battle. Like, so you think about work as like battle and out, like conquering, so that you can come home and feel safe and be with your woman. So I want women to think more along those lines when they're speaking to their men, and even men, so you understand yourself better. Like, when women are giving you shit about not, you didn't text me, she needs to get educated. Send her to us. We will
Send her this podcast.
We will happily work with her. Send her, you know, you can pay for her to learn how to understand what she's doing and why her brain is wired incorrectly. But the biggest thing here is that, like, men are not women and women are not men. And we need to understand that and be more present and understanding within that, because we're not at this point in time. And we're shaming men for not being women, and we're shaming women for not being men. And it's just like turned into this entire circus, in my opinion.
It is a circus. Have you seen it out there?
And like, everybody's having less sex. There's less babies. There's less love. And it's literally boils down to this. And the misunderstandings of how a man's brain works and how a woman's brain works. And when we understand that, we actually cultivate love, because we are allowing an interdependent relationship, not a codependent relationship. Read my mind, do this or else, passive aggressive. Everybody understands what's going on. And also, like, we allow men, that's why as the feminine, we ask a man, hey, do you have a minute to talk about something sensitive, right? And then he goes, yes or no. He's essentially assessing, is it safe for me to be in my feelings and to hold space for hers? You have to lead. Men are the leaders, but women guide in communication and things. And we guide by understanding a man's brain and understanding, like, we need to check in with him on if he's in conquer mode, he can't be in his feelings. So, you know, when he's out adventuring, when he's out doing things, you just give them space and stop being needy. I need women to go out and have your own life. Well, go get pedicures, go get massages, go be in your feminine.
Well, and we talk to male clients. They talk about how women nowadays just constantly are texting them all day long.
But men do that too. I've
and it's like, oh my God, like, a man in his masculine gets actually super triggered by it. They're like, I am in my work box. Like, I'll talk to you later. Like, I'm working. I can't do both. Like, they can't.
They won't even say that. They'll just ignore it.
Yeah. They like, and then she gets offended. Well, in reality, you need to think about, he's in his, like, if you have to think about it this way, this is how I think about it. It's his man cave of work. Like, it's in his office. It's, you know, in whatever, like, he's in his man cave land making money. And then he has his man cave at home of like, you know, decompression and like, I don't know, man things. I don't even really know what lives in a man cave. I can only imagine like
not much
hobbies. And
that's like that Instagram video that we watched yesterday that you showed me, and you were like, I caught my husband downstairs and he was just like remote control.
Yeah, it was okay. So it was two husbands.
They're not doing what women are doing.
What they had done was they took these old school metal Tonka trucks and they turned them into robots.
Yeah.
And automated them, and then they were sitting there. The men were not talking.
No, they don't talk.
They don't talk.
No.
They were not talking, and they were literally moving dirt and laughing. Like two little boys. They look like little boys playing in the dirt with their Tonka trucks, and they were like so proud of themselves.
Yeah.
And like that is literally what men do when they hang out. Like that is a glimpse into man land where us women are gossiping and
masculine men. That's a glimpse into
that's a masculine men. They're not gaming. They're not isolating.
Well, they can game. I think
heavily. You think so?
Not excessively. But no, killing things
that's
and
the thing.
conquering. Yeah. No, I think that's very. I killed it. I won.
Yeah, they're like, look at my cool gun. I just got an upgrade on this new blah blah blah.
And they're competing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So there is masculinity.
Okay, so that's fair for gaming. Yeah. Just to a point where it's like obviously like too much isolation or too much of anything can become an addiction and it can hurt your relationship.
If they're gaming and have become incels and their life is sexless and they choose games over sex, then it becomes feminine.
Yeah. So that's just like a glimpse into like a man cave land. And like if you really want to know, or if you're jealous or insecure about his man space, trust me, girlfriend, there's nothing in there that you want to be a part of, because it's literally like Tonka trucks and guns conquering things, and you're going to be like, what is happening?
Yeah, no,
it's not that exciting.
Male friendships.
Go get girlfriends and don't worry about his man cave.
I actually don't even know how they form friendships, because they're like grunting and farting and seeing who can burp the loudest and like seeing who can chop down the tree faster or who can
climb
chop
the tree
wood
or
the fastest, like
run
playing,
the fastest,
playing war games.
I don't know,
competing. I'm like, what is there for? Because if men are together gossiping and crying, they are women.
We're going to talk about this.
If you're a masculine core woman, great, you have found feminine. But I do want you to understand that men in their male friendships don't talk about their feelings or anything like that. They talk about their feelings with the women that they love. Not the women they're fucking, the women that they love. That's their safe space to have feelings. If men are crying in front of each other or doing anything, they're all betas. A true alpha male would never, and I mean ever, show feelings in front of other men, because that would cause weakness and they would not be the alpha of that group anymore, because men would lose all respect. So I'm not saying that men don't have feelings. I'm just saying how they express them and when they express them is very important to understanding how alpha somebody is, because you don't see, like, the majority of football teams are alpha males. It's just a hierarchy, right, of like who's the boss.
Yep.
But they're not together in the locker room crying after they've lost a game.
No, they like slap each other's butt and they're like, yeah, man, just do.
If they
literally grunt.
If they lost?
Oh no, then they don't talk.
Yeah.
There's no talking.
Exactly.
They like look down and they're ruminating about how they can do better in the next game.
How they could have conquered, because men have to do good to feel good.
Yeah.
So they didn't do good, so they don't feel good.
And you saw this with the last Super Bowl. They were showing clips of like Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce when they were going back into the locker room. It was actually like terrifying. Like they were all like deadpan, no emotions, like head down, like full rumination of like, what are we going to do next time and what are we going to do better next time? Yeah. It was wild to like see like everybody out celebrating but that's masculine.
The only time I want to see an alpha man crying and hugging other people, especially hugging other men, is like during an ayahuasca ceremony where they have transformed into the feminine.
Yes.
And that is, they're in their feelings and their...
But that's also a safe container.
But even then, I have never seen it. Even in ayahuasca, I have never seen... they might cry the next morning, but I've never seen...
I've only seen it like tears of happiness.
But tears of joy is way different than tears of sadness.
I've only seen a masculine in ayahuasca cry for joy and like feeling like the feminine. I haven't seen it either. God help us all if we do. I don't know why I'll be like, this is really awkward. But here we are. So if you want more information on the man cave, if you're a man listening to this, you want to learn how to build a man cave, find an alpha. I can't help you. Ladies, ease off your men. Like, just let them be men. Stop trying to be their mom. Let them be in solitude. Let them ruminate. Let them hunt. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you so much. Like, subscribe, share, comment. If you are over on Spotify or Apple, share this, like it, comment. Let us know if there's a topic you want to hear or us to dive deeper on. And if you have anything else you'd like to share or any suggestions for the show, DM us at synchronicity_sisters. Did I miss anything?
Nope.
Till next time. Bye.